Now, your Fox 44 forecast first.
Good evening, everybody. We had a breezy and cloudy day today with temperatures in the mid and lower 60s. But right now, looking at our regional temperatures, we can see Waco is at 70 and College Station is at 67 degrees. Let's go to your forecast first. So for tonight, we're going to keep it mostly cloudy starting off at 9 o'clock, 64 degrees. Then we get to that midnight hour, cool down to 62 degrees, again, mostly cloudy. Then that next day, 6 o'clock rolls around, 60 degrees and mostly cloudy conditions. We have details on your wet weekend and your cooler work week. Fox 44 News starts right now.
Straight ahead on Fox 44 News at 5:30, Killeen first responders highlight their experience helping fight fires in the Texas Panhandle. And President Trump's legal troubles front and center today, from New York to Florida to Georgia. We have the latest. Also, the Texas Medical Board will soon hash out guidelines on what counts as medical exemptions to the state's abortion restrictions.
Live from Waco, Temple, and Killeen, your news now. This is Fox 44 News at 5:30.
Good evening and thanks for joining us for Fox 44 News at 5:30. I'm MG Montemayor. 5 Killeen firefighters are back home after helping fight the Panhandle fires, the largest wildfire in Texas history. Fox 44's Earl Stoudemire highlights what these first responders took away from this experience.
MG, all of the Killeen first responders who deployed in the Panhandle described how the wildfires caused extensive damage. After evacuations were done, they shared how the community showed strength and resilience.
What I've seen a lot of is the community comes together. So bringing in clothing. Up there, farming and ranching is a big thing, so bringing in hay, feed for horses, medicines, because a lot of these cattle and stuff were being burned, and it's their lifeline.
Killeen firefighters say it was a challenge having to deal with 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts across flat land.
It's a change in mindset coming from the Central Texas area to going to an area like that where you know the fire is going to be very fast moving. We're going to have to get out in front of it.
Each first responder deployed is an expert in different areas of firefighting. Charles Layton says the atmosphere is changing.
In my 20 years here, it has progressively gotten worse. Drier, hotter, and so the fires are getting bigger and more devastating.
Killeen firefighters go through constant training to be prepared for the next call. Killeen Fire Chief James Kubinski says their work for Texans helping Texans always pays off.
We know that TIFMAS and Texas Task Force 1 will be there for us when we need it. It's not if. We know that we would be remiss to think that we're just the bubble of the city of Killeen, that we're never going to be affected by something like this.
To help anyone impacted, you can click on this story online at fox44news.com. We'll have links where you can donate. In Killeen, Earl Stoudemire, Fox 44 News.
Paul Ray Rosandez is in the McLennan County Jail on multiple charges after police say he led them on a pursuit in Waco Thursday afternoon. It started when police attempted a traffic stop in the 3300 block of Spade Avenue just after 2 p.m. Police say the patrol car that initiated the traffic stop crashed into another vehicle at Franklin Avenue and Valley Mills Drive. The 2 officers in the patrol car are recovering, along with 1 person in the other vehicle. Woodway public safety officers rescued the driver of a Cadillac SUV that went off the road and landed in a ravine Thursday morning. The chief says an elderly man was driving west in the 15,000 block of Woodway Drive when he had a medical episode and lost control. The SUV went off the road into a wooded area and down into the ravine where the man was found trapped inside. Woodway public safety officers rescued him and an ambulance took him to the hospital. He is expected to be okay. Today, a judge in Georgia ruled the lead prosecutor in the criminal case against Donald Trump has to go, or the entire prosecution team will get the boot. A judge in Atlanta ruled today that District Attorney Fani Willis can stay on the election interference case against former President Donald Trump, but she has to fire her ex-boyfriend, Special Prosecutor Nathan Wade, before the case can go to trial. Trump's co-defendants alleged the relationship was a disqualifying conflict of interest. The news in Georgia follows major legal developments for Trump on Thursday. A Florida judge rejected 1 of 2 bids by the former president to get his classified documents criminal case thrown out. And New York prosecutors suggested a 30-day delay in the 2016 Stormy Daniels hush money trial that was supposed to start March 25th. Trump's lawyers had been pushing for a 90-day postponement. Trump faces 4 different criminal trials, and now none of them with hard start dates, less than 8 months before the election. The Texas Medical Board is meeting at the end of next week to discuss clarifying language on what counts as medical exemptions to the state's abortion restrictions. The board's March 22nd agenda calls for consideration of, quote, possible action on rules regarding exceptions to the ban on abortions. This after advocates filed a petition earlier this year requesting that the board give clear guidance on exactly when an abortion is allowed under Texas law. Currently, the law bans nearly all abortions except in cases when a doctor determines that the mother's life is in danger. Since the laws were passed, many women have been denied medically necessary abortions because their doctors weren't clear on the law and feared the consequences of having their licenses revoked. We recently spoke with the attorney for Kate Cox, a Dallas woman at the center of a landmark challenge to the state's abortion ban.
Right now, doctors can't act. Even if they, based on their training and their experience, feel like they should, they still can't. Texas is standing in the way of all pregnant, moms-to-be that are in this situation. And it's so sad to think that there are innumerable pregnant moms out there right now across Texas facing this right now.
After the board meets, they could go on to publish a rule on medical exceptions in the Texas Register. After that, there would be a 30-day public comment period ahead of a final ruling. New and expecting mothers have some help available from the Brazos County Health District. The district is holding a class tomorrow for maternal child health emergency preparedness. The class runs from 10 in the morning until noon in the district courtroom located at 201 North Texas Avenue in Bryan. All participants will receive valuable information as well as a backpack filled with emergency supplies. Pregnant women and mothers with children ages 5 years and younger can participate. A Baylor baseball game this Sunday will raise awareness of developmental disabilities. The Baylor Bears baseball team and the Baylor Center for Developmental Disabilities are inviting the community to attend the Sunday afternoon game at the Baylor Ballpark at 1 p.m. March 21st is also World Down Syndrome Day, so a special treat, a few special guests will throw the first pitch at the game. If you are a part of the disability community and would like to attend, visit our website, fox44news.com, for information on how you can get a discount code for tickets to the game. Fans of Magnolia are coming to Waco for one more weekend of creativity in bloom. The annual Spring at the Silos event draws thousands of people every year to the center of the Magnolia Empire. You can enjoy music, food, and other events for one last weekend, today and tomorrow. And instead of closing streets for a vendor fair, this year artists and makers will set up on the Silos grounds. Spring at the Silos is free, but tours of the silo, the castle, and the rooftop are available to purchase. The Temple Police Department is joining a popular reel trend to talk about the total solar eclipse, which will happen on April 8th. In the humorous video, Temple police officers are seen across the city giving people advice about safely watching the event. Take a look.
It's a solar eclipse. Of course we want you to obey all the traffic laws.
It's a solar eclipse. Of course we don't want you to stop on the roadways.
It's a solar eclipse. Of course you can't trespass on private property just to watch. Man, I can't see anything in these glasses. It's a solar eclipse. Of course we want you to wear the right glasses while driving.
That one's great. Temple PD says all emergency operations such as 911 will still be available during the solar event. Coming up, deadly storms tear across the Midwest Thursday night, wreaking havoc and killing multiple people. We have the details.
And weather-wise, we had a pretty dry afternoon, but that front comes in bringing rounds of rain and showers for a wet weekend. More details on that coming up later.
This is Fox 44 News at 5:30 with Adam Hooper, MG Montemayor, AMS certified chief meteorologist Mike LaPointe, and sports with Eric Kelly.